morning, Pastor Steve here. Welcome to Beside the Tracks. Galatians 6:2 says, Bear one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. For if anyone thinks himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. But let each one examine his own work, then he'll have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For each one shall bear his own load. Burdens are extra heavy loads, which represent difficulties or problems or pains that people have trouble dealing with. And bear, carrying with endurance here. You fulfill the love of Christ, the law of Christ, the love of Christ, which fulfills the entire law. And in context, this brother has been overtaken in a fault. Martin Luther said, the apostle chooses the softer term fault to minimize the offense. He speaks of him as having been overtaken, seduced by the devil and of the flesh. So bearing that heavy load, and if you've been seduced into sinful thoughts and actions, you know the heavy load. And this guy is struggling and he needs help, the help of others, not to cave into the shame, but to press onward to restoration. After Paul had instructed the Corinthians to discipline the sinning brother in 1 Corinthians, then in 2 Corinthians, he said, hey, he's repented. Don't load him down with his past, but help him toward his future. 2 Corinthians 2:8, he said, therefore I urge you to reaffirm your love for him. The great theologian Glenn Campbell, I'm joking, don't make any comments, wrote this in a rather clearer understanding of this section than many have. If you see your brother standing by the road with a heavy load from the seeds he sowed, if you see your sister fallen by the way, just stop and say, you're going the wrong way. You got to try a little kindness, show a little kindness, shine your light for everyone to see. And if you'll try a little kindness, you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded streets. Down in verse 4, he says, each one needs to carry or bear his own load. The word for load is the verse was a common term for a man's backpack. In the end, we're all responsible for our own work, but we can help bear the heavy burdens of other people. We're here to help restore people. When we stand before Christ, we will be held responsible for our own walk. The command of Christ to love each other is seen in these thoughts. The Hebrews writer instructs us in 10:25, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much more as you see the day approaching. In chapter 12, verse 12, therefore strengthen the hands which hang down, and the feeble knees. Make straight paths for your feet, so that what is lame may not be dislocated, but rather be healed. And James chapter 5, 19 and 20 says, brothers, if any of you errs from the truth, and one convert him, let him know that he which converts the sinner from the error of his way shall save a soul from death and shall hide a multitude of sins. Then you help him bear his heavy load and make that backpack a lot easier to carry. From Beside the Tracks, Pastor Steve.